UFG family, what up, doe? Welcome to the crib, man. So this is the UFG Podcast pilot episode, man. Episode 0, the origin story. So I have a wonderful, wonderful guest, my everything, my manager, my editor, my partner in crime, my best friend, my wife, the mother of my children, the one and the only, my beautiful bride, Liliy.
Hey, everybody.
Welcome.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
So, welcome to the UFG Podcast, guys. First episode, man. So, this is the pilot episode. We're going to get right into it. So, this episode, I'm going to let you guys in on me, who I am. UFG, the name. Universole Footgear, where did it come from? My connection to sneakers, future endeavors. We're just going to dive into a few things, and we're just going to have a conversation and have y'all along with us, right?
Yep, that's right.
So let's start it off. Liliy, why don't you introduce yourself? And I kind of gave you an introduction, but let the people know who you are and your passions as well, how it kind of meshes with mine.
Well, my name is Liliy, and I was born in California, so I'm actually from Southern California.
I'm going.
I was born in Northern California, but raised in the San Fernando Valley, so I like to say that I am from Pacoima. So shout out 818. My hobbies include photography, videography. You know, I am a student of the arts, if you will. I am a big advocate for learning things on your own and teaching yourself. I'm a big DIYer. I go to YouTube University.
Self-taught.
I'm self-taught in a lot of things. And I think UFG has definitely helped me bring that to a platform, have that as an outlet. I try to implement things that I've learned. So I'm not a professional by any means.
Yes, you
but
is. Just being modest.
But I try to implement the things that I do learn with UFG, and it definitely gives us a collaborative, effort to bring our two passions together. Mm-hmm. You with sneakers and me with the visual aspects,
the arts
of it. Yeah.
And then my wife, man, just to kind of give her flowers, she this design, this is her. She designed that. She is very artistic. Her and my daughter. My daughter has that artistic gift too, that can look at something and can draw. You guys have that. Me and Elijah, we don't have that. But you guys
have your own thing.
Yep. But Liliy is very, very artistic, and she forgot to dabble into choreography. She's a great dancer as well. So
in my past life.
Yep. Latina. She got that rhythm. You know what I'm saying? So that's just a bit of the background, and that kind of shows our connection together, that, and then,
a lot of the things that you guys don't see.
She does all the hard legwork, like the editing of videos, we can be somewhere, like, for instance, I was telling somebody I work with, and I was showing them the Instagram page, and not only the profile picture to my Instagram,
which is my favorite
page,
picture,
and my YouTube channel, the time when we were at Sweetwater Tavern downtown Detroit, and we were waiting on our food. It was a nice, like, late summer day, and it was probably like 60 degrees, 70 degrees outside, nice cool day, and we're waiting outside for our food, and Lily's like, go stand in the middle of the street, walk towards me. and it was like, what? I'm like, what do you want?
Yeah.
Right there on Brush Street. She just like, go stand in the middle of the street, walk towards me, and just got a picture. And it was like, it was dope. And just like the profile picture, we were walking, and she's just like, sit right there. And then she just got the perfect angle with the Renaissance behind me. And it was dope, man. So definitely, she definitely has the artistic eye that I'm missing. And, she definitely adds value to my passion, and it just works, man. It works.
Yeah, we work well together. Yeah.
Yeah, we do work well together. So, and for you guys that, if you're working with a spouse or your significant other, it's a challenge. She challenges me. I challenge her.
Definitely.
With her being self-taught, and we'll kind of dabble into it a little bit later in this episode. With her being self-taught, she kind of, put up certain templates for me.
Yeah, and that's where I had to learn.
Yeah, no, we wasn't with that.
Bring it back a little bit. I can't.
DK wasn't playing that, dog.
Not everything has to be structured.
Yeah, and it's cool though that she was like that because it was self-taught and it's new to both of us.
Yeah.
So it was like, you know, she was like, well, for your YouTube, you need to, in your first 5 minutes, you need to say this, that, and you need to grasp your audience attention. And then, you know, the thumbnail, like you got some idiots who be like, all right, I ain't gonna say idiots because I don't want to offend nobody, but you got some people for sneaker YouTube, the thumbnails are like,
no, I tried to keep them away from as much as the cringy stuff as possible.
I hate it, dog. Like, and it's not a knock at y'all personally. So if you do those thumbnails and you watching this or you listening, bro, you know, it ain't nothing personal. Okay, don't take yourself so serious. But that junk is whack. Okay, but she kind of had that template, and I get tired of hearing those templates on Instagram, and it's like, oh, if you want 1,000 followers, then you need to do this, this, and this. I don't want this to feel like work.
You cannot convince this man.
No,
to do
you can't.
You
can't
like that. As much as I've tried,
no.
Like, look, this will help you, and I'm like coming from like a good place, you know. And he's not gonna do it.
No.
So I've learned, we've kind of learned to compromise on those things.
Absolutely.
And kind of learned to like, okay, look, we need to have some structure.
Absolutely.
We need to have some kind of outline, and then I kind of let you go from there.
And then like 85% of the time, she's right. I'm not even.
I'll just wait.
I'm not even gonna hold you.
Right.
I mean, sometimes it just be like, man, but then when I think about it, it's like, dang, she right, you know. Yeah. And then inside, it's like, dang, she was right. You know what I'm saying? So it happens. So if you working with your spouse or significant other, man, listen. I mean, you know, and it took a minute. When we first started this, I thought I knew everything about what to display.
And I thought I knew everything.
And then she thought she knew everything. So it was a compromise. It was definitely, and we challenged each other. And that's good, bro, because that brings the creative juices out when someone is challenging you.
Yeah.
It's not just like, but at the same time, end of the day, when it comes to this podcast, when it comes to my YouTube channel, when it comes to my Instagram page, I want it to be fun.
Yeah.
This is my passion. Sneakers is my passion. So I'm kind of dabbling into a new world with this podcast.
Yeah.
But I don't want it to be work. By trade, I'm a commercial building engineer, and you know, I take the lead in that field, and I'm in a leadership role at work. And if I want to be stressed, I got 40 hours Monday through Friday to be stressed out.
Right. This is the last place we want to be stressed out. This is the last place I want to be stressed. I don't want it to feel like work. I want to let my hair down. I want to just chit chat with my bride, with my dog, whenever, you know, whoever that's on this platform with us or with me. I want it to be comfortable, and I don't want to feel like work. So that's just a little bit of breakdown, kind of us, our work together. Duo. Yeah.
And now I'm dive into me. So guys, I was born and raised Detroit, Michigan, 48235, 7 Mile Greenfield all day. You know, Peterson Park boy, Sussex familiar, and I'm not a gang member. Those aren't gangs. I am a Christian. I'm a Bible student. I am not gangster by any means. But, you know, that's where I'm from, man. 7 Mile Greenfield, Sussex, born and raised, man. And it is very tough being from Detroit and being such a huge MJ fan. Now, Bad Boys and Bulls, Chicago, that hate goes deep. Even to this day, I got friends. We're in our 40s. We're in our 40s, and I got friends to this day that still hates Michael Jordan because they're diehard Piston fans, and that's okay. But that hate ran deep with me, man. I used to get chased home from school, y'all. So in '91, when the Bulls swept the Pistons. So in 1990. I was in middle school. 1990, I was 12 going on 13. So I was in the 7th grade, you know, 6th, 7th grade. I was held back a grade in the 2nd grade. So I was in the 6th, 7th grade. So 1990, when the Bulls got eliminated by the Pistons, the migraine game, I don't know. I mean, Scotty had a migraine. So what do you want me to do? I mean, Scotty had a migraine. So the migraine game, game 7, people let me have it, bro. I mean, people were like, "Oh, Jordan is never gonna be this," and Jordan. So it was like, all right, cool. You know what I'm saying? And I was an emotional kid, bro. When I got home and I was by myself, I cried. Like, I'm not lying, bro. I was so into MJ that I cried when they lost in 1990 to the Pistons. But later on in that playoff run, you know, of course, I celebrated with the Pistons with the Vinnie Johnson 007 hitting the shot in Portland to win that series and win the championship in 1990. So that was back to back. And you know what I'm saying? Bad Boys back to back and celebration here. So I definitely celebrate. It's my hometown. I love Detroit. But when it came to the Pistons and the Bulls back in them days, I was all day. I was MJ all day. And I used to get terrorized. So that next year in 91, I brought a mini broom to school. Like one of those little mini brooms that don't even have a stick on it. It's just a little mini broom. And I brought it to school and I'm walking around doing this and, you know, because they swept the Pistons.
Just being bad.
And dudes chased me home, bro. They ain't catch me. Like my man Corporate say, I got little on them, boy. I was out, but I never got caught. And then, too, if they would have caught up, they weren't going to do nothing anyway because I had uncles and, you know, my Uncle Dink and his homeboys, Bernie and Mel and Byron and all them. They weren't going to let nothing happen to me. So, but at the end of the day, I did get chased home, you know, just that one time. It wasn't like a reoccurring thing.
Do you think that the culture then, when you were, you know, when Jordan was winning his rings and when he was, you know, really representing for the culture, do you think that kind of catapulted you to start collecting sneakers, to have that emotional attachment to sneakers? How did you, how was that connection to where you are now?
I'm going to be real with you, man. If MJ never won a championship, he still would be like how I view him today. Like I feel like me as an MJ fan, his championships is just icing on the cake. Cause he was already like my guy. Like it was nothing you can tell me about MJ. Like technically kind of dialing it back a little bit. Technically my first favorite player was Magic Johnson. Because of the name Magic, you know, I'm a little kid. Magic Johnson, that sounded cool. You know what I'm saying? Like Irvin Magic Johnson. You know, that was cool. And he was from Lansing, you know, he went to Michigan State. However, back then, I didn't know those things. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know nothing about none of that. You got to think Magic came in the league in what, 78, 79? I was born in 78. So I didn't know anything about Magic like that. But my uncle, I have an uncle named Dinky, and my uncle is 3 years older than me, 2.5, 3 years older than me. And he's my daddy's baby brother. So, you know, my granny is not here no more. She just passed in 23, but that was her oops baby. You know what I'm saying? Like he's only a few years older than me and I'm the oldest grandchild. So me and Dink and my other cousin Dwayne, which Dwayne is like a couple years younger than me. We're all like 2-3 years apart. We grew up like brothers, you know, but Dink, his dad, he had a different father than my dad and my uncles and aunties. His dad got him everything. Like I remember he had the Converse weapons and he had the purple and gold joints, the Magic joints. And that was a thing back then. That was like, you know, and I was too young to really appreciate sneakers and basketball for real. But I can remember those days like, dang, he got those. And they were such a loud sneaker, you know, that yellow and purple and
it
white.
Made a statement. Yeah.
They were loud.
Yeah.
And back then as a kid, I just was like, those are dope. You know what I'm saying? But when I first seen MJ, like for real, when I knew basketball, when I understood basketball, I probably was like 9 or 10, somewhere in there. Cause I always was good at basketball. Cause my Uncle Dink and his homeboys used to take me to the park and play with them. And I was like, I was younger than everybody. You know what I'm saying? And I would be killing out there. And they would take me up there with them. And so I knew how to play basketball, but I didn't have basketball IQ, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, so I didn't understand basketball. Even when I watched it, I would watch the Piston games with my mom, with my granny. My granny, we'd be in the back room packed in my granny crib. You've been on my granny crib. We'd be in the back room, it'd be my dad, my granny, all my cousins, my uncles. We'd be watching the Pistons and Isaiah. Oh, Zeke. That was her man. Zeke was her guy. You know what I'm saying? So I remember watching games and stuff, but it was like when I really realized who MJ was, when they showed like highlights of him, hit Larry Bird with the tween, bop, 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 the tween like 3 times, tween, 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 then the hezzy pull up from 19. And it was like that 63 in the playoffs. That was monumental to me. That blew my mind. That was like the emoji, the mind-blowing emoji.
Yeah.
Like, that's when I understood what he was doing. Like 63, like, dang, he scored 63 points. And I mean, he did that on a Hall of Fame team. You know what I'm saying? So that's when MJ became like MJ to me. Like, oh, that's my favorite player.
And
you know,
and then when you look up to somebody like that, when you look up to someone with such admiration, you naturally want to talk like them, walk like them, dress like them.
Bro, I used to try to walk like MJ.
And do you feel like when MJ finally became MJ to you, was that the starting point of maybe your connection to sneakers? Maybe not collecting, because I know collecting came a little bit later.
Collecting came later just because of financial reasons.
Right, but as far as like emotional attachment.
Emotional attachment. I think the first shoe that I had an emotional attachment, it was a Jordan. It was the Air Jordan 5, the black metallic 5s. And I tell this story, and you guys probably heard this story before, but I used to watch Michael Jordan's Playground every single day. When that came out on videotape, my mom bought it for me, and I used to watch that on VHS every single day. Like when it was new, not every day of my life, but I used to watch it a lot, put it like that. And I remember like one of the first times when I seen it, and you got to think this 89, 90, you know what I'm saying? So I'm 11, 12 years old. And when I seen it, old boy Kane shot the shot, the ball rolls. MJ puts his foot on the ball and he has the black metallic 5s on. And I remember seeing them, and it was again that emoji moment, like, you know, I never seen you. Even now to this day, you know, you never seen, it was this silhouette but different colorway. Even to this day, you don't
explain the silhouette to the people listening.
Oh yeah, so to the people listening, I just put the Amaneer Jordan 5 Dawns up on the table, but it's a Jordan 5. I'm just using the Jordan 5 silhouette. And this is my favorite silhouette. Now, it may not be my favorite silhouette in the aspect of the best looking, because I think the Jordan 11 is the #1 silhouette of all time. But the Jordan 5 silhouette is my personal favorite for emotional reasons. Yeah. Because of that. When I was a kid, I wanted that shoe so bad, and my mama was not spending $100 for no shoes. You know what I'm saying?
But now that we're adults and we have adult money, we can get what we want.
So it's different as I came along, and it got different for me in high school. So if we fast track a little bit, kind of picking up the pace, if we go to high school, I had a job in high school. I worked at McDonald's. And I remember me and my boy Rashad, he was a high school friend of mine I grew up with in my neighborhood in high school. And he was like, we both worked at McDonald's, and we would get like $185 a week. Like that was our check.
Man,
between $150, $180. You know what I'm saying? But we would work, bro. Like we would work. I would get out of school, and I get out of school at 2:20. I would get home like around 3. I used to have to be at work at 4:30 and work till like 9. I was working, you know, and then weekends I was working full 8-hour shifts on Saturday and Sundays. So I was earning my money, but I would spend it. Like I wasn't saving nothing, because my mom, you know, quick story, I went to Cody High School in the 9th grade, and my mom she wasn't fashion savvy. And God bless my mama, you know, I love my mama, and this is not a shot at her, and this is not to say that I was neglected or I didn't have a good childhood, or I had a good childhood. My mom provided for me and my sister. My dad wasn't in the picture, so my mom was the mom and the dad. So my mom made sure we were straight. We weren't like poor. We didn't look all ratchet. We were cool. Right. Me and my sister was cool. But my mom was not fashion savvy at all. My mom was just like, hey, as long as your shoes ain't got holes in them, you good, bro. Right, like my mom grew up in the 60s and the 50s, you know, not the 50s, but in the 60s and 70s. So she wasn't about that fashion life, and spending $100 on sneakers was unheard of back in the 80s and 90s. Like a lot of parents was with it. They was with the movement because it was a lot of dudes that I knew personally, their parents was getting them every single Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Couldn't hoop, nothing, but they got them J's. But my mom wasn't like that. She sent me to Cody High School. If y'all from Detroit, man, Cody High School in the early 90s.
Yeah.
Dog, she sent me to school with some XJ900s, bro. Those are flow burners. We call them flow burners because the sole feel like plastic.
Yeah.
It's like you slide across the carpet like you can start a fire. Like you can run and slide like you on some hillies without the wheel and start a fire. Like flow burners. So she sent me to school with some XJ900s and I got verbally murdered from 8 in the morning to 3 o'clock. And I threw them shoes away. And I felt bad because she took it as being ungrateful, but she just didn't speak that language. And it was like, Ma.
Do you think that's why you started collecting? Like, was it that one of the reasons? Like, hey, look, I couldn't get what
I didn't want to be made fun of.
Oh, and I couldn't get what I wanted.
Right.
As far as that goes, you know.
But the collection really, really, really derived from wanting to be like Mike.
Mm-hmm.
I was one of them kids. I want to be like Mike. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to be like Mike. Be like Mike. If I can be, I wanted to be like Mike for real. And I was one of them kids. So whatever he wore, I wanted it. How he walked, I wanted his swag. Just like how Kobe grew up and me and Kobe like the same age. So Kobe was on that same mind state I was on. Just Kobe was blessed with height. Mm-hmm. I wasn't. So, but at the same time of the day, you know, I wanted to be like Mike, but there were other sneakers out during that time. Like if we look at these Huaraches. So for those who listening, these are the Fab 5 Huaraches, the Nike Air Flight Huaraches, you know, a basketball shoe, the first Huarache basketball shoe, the only Huarache basketball shoe, I think. But Fab 5 made these popular. This was early 90s. This was during the Mike J reign. And as far as sneakers go, but my mama, these were $100 shoes back then. I could not get these. You know what I'm saying? But for example, if these were $79.99, my mama would have bought me these, which these were cool.
Yeah. You
know what I'm saying? These were cool. The Delta Force, the Air Force 87s. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying the name wrong, but neither here nor there. These were cool shoes to have. They were decent, but these were the shoes like my mom would get me, like the $79.99 joints. She wasn't going for, I'm telling you, if it was $99.99, it was just that stigma of $100 for some sneakers. She'll spend $79, $89, no $99. And I just didn't understand.
That's where she drew the line.
She drew the line. So it was like, I just got a job and I just went ate crap. I went crazy and I would get shoes every single payday. I got paid every Friday. I was at the mall every Saturday and buying shoes. So that's high school.
Let's talk about how UFG started in the social media.
In the social media space.
How did we start?
Pandemic.
Yes.
Pandemic. I got laid off work. Again, I do commercial building engineering. And I got laid off from my job. The building that I was overseeing went from being 95 to 100% capacity occupied to 5%. So they didn't need 2 engineers, and I was the lowest man on the totem pole. Deuces. Mm-hmm. But it wasn't all bad because we got the unemployment bonus, and we got the stimulus. Joe Biden looked out, Trump looked out, whatever. But that didn't last too long though.
No,
so, I mean, for the time it did, but we went a little stir crazy, man. We was in the crib and,
Who didn't at the time?
I mean, especially if you had to be home. Yeah. Like a lot of people still had to go out in the world. Like my best friend, Buck, his job required him to still go out during the pandemic. Yeah. He was still out in the world working, so that was tough, man. And a lot of people still went to work. They were necessary to what did they call it?
Oh my God,
I forget.
I'm drawing a
but
blank right now.
It was necessary for them to work.
Right.
It was a necessity for them to work. But what it was called?
Essential workers.
They was essential. Exactly. Yes. Thanks, Buck. They were essential. Yeah. They had to work.
So we really needed something to not drive us crazy.
Yeah.
And
so it was your idea. It was her idea because I always had a bunch of sneaks, man. Buck
I didn't
always.
want to say it, but yeah,
I remember when me and
idea.
Buck just kind of, and this is off the, we got an agenda here, but this kind of off the agenda because Buck is here. So Buck is behind the scenes. I can remember when me and Buck back in early 2000s, we were getting bathing apes. We was on the bait tip. We was on Jay's. We was on Ralph Lauren.
Mm-hmm.
We was in that, we was in that realm. So I always had sneaks, bro. And this is back young adult, but I always had a love for the sneaker culture and collecting and, fashion and things like that. But I think when we were in the pandemic, you had told me like, hey, you got so many sneakers. Why don't you showcase them?
I think I was watching so many like makeup tutorials and hair tutorials and just so
she's like, why don't you showcase your sneakers? And I'm like, all right.
So an influx of people being online that I was like, why can't we do that?
Yeah. So we just did a page, and that was the pandemic. You want to be, entrepreneur,
right? Everybody wanted to do that.
So Universole Footgear started off. It was just me. Mm-hmm. It wasn't Universole Footgear yet.
Yeah.
And I created an Instagram page that was solely to pay homage to the sneaker culture and just the love of sneakers.
It was very informational.
It was. And what we would do, like a lot of the pictures, like Buck would send me a picture and I'll put it on there and of his shoes that he had. I had different friends, like Keith, MacArthur. He'll send me some stuff, and different people was just sending me pictures of their shoes, and I was just showcasing them.
Yeah.
And then we'll put in the description, Lily will put in the description, we'll do all the legwork, look up the shoe, the original release date, if it was a retro,
the designer,
the design, who made it, and who,
literally, we went through so many.
It was just like an informational, like
overload,
paying homage to the sneaker culture, just like collecting sneakers. And then it went from that till I remember I had a conversation with Buck, and I'm like, dude, I need to come up with a name. Yeah. And Buck said something about Universal, and I think I threw in the Footgear, and then we flipped the Universal to the SOLE.
Yeah.
And then it was like, that's it.
That's it.
So Buck helped me with the name, and then we was thinking about, because Universole Footgear, that's a mouthful. Yeah. That's a mouthful for a lot of people. So then we went to the UFG. Mm-hmm. And I remember you wanted USFG. And it was just too much. It was just like USFG. And I remember we was laying in the bed. It was like a Saturday. Yeah. We was just laying in the bed, relaxing.
And it just came
in the morning.
Like,
and I was like
a light bulb.
UFG. Yeah. And it just hit me like a ton of bricks. And it was like, that just stuck. UFG. So Universole Footgear, UFG. And then Brent and Christian Temple, man. I love them so much. Brent and Christian, I love you guys if y'all ever see this. I love you guys so much. They are a good friend of ours. And they are graphic designers by trade. Yeah. That's what they do.
Yeah. So we came to them with our little idea.
We hit them with the idea. I kind of told them, like, look, UFG, but I want the UF and the G all to be together. I kind of wanted to intertwine. Yeah. And so they came up with our logo.
Yeah.
So they sent us an email with roughly about 10 different logos on it. And we bought this one. And the other one, it was like a U, a F, and then a G with the shoe on the G.
It was like the little G where
little so we'll probably use that for like a kids merch if we do kids stuff. But and then initially we wanted to do merch, and we did. We did t-shirts, and I think we did okay, man.
Yeah, we did okay.
We didn't make a lot of money, and that wasn't the purpose.
No.
I really wanted to give good quality t-shirts and kind of just something different, graphic shirts to match sneakers, and you know what I'm saying? It was that, and we're not done. That was just one go round. That was our first go round. We're not done.
Right, we're not done.
Because the connections that we're making and the people that we're around and the relationships that we're nurturing and cultivating, they have, power in that fashion world.
And
so
resources.
Right. Resources, man.
Bounce ideas off of them.
So we got the logo, and we just went, when I first seen that logo, the U, the F, and the G all together, it just, I don't know, it just like chills.
Yeah.
I just seen it.
Like,
I'm
when
like,
you know, you know.
Yeah, like, if you know, you know.
If you know, you know.
All right. So it was just one of them things. And so that's how we got the name. That's how we got the logo.
That's how we started on Instagram.
And Instagram, initially, I started my first video. Wasn't even on YouTube yet. No. It was an unboxing. I had hit on the sneakers app for the Grateful Dead
the yellow
dunks, the yellow
ones.
joints.
Yeah.
The Grateful Dead dunks. So I had hit on those and I was like excited because they were like 116, 120 with tax.
Yeah.
Or 112, something like that. They were basically $120 and I flipped them joints for $1,100. So
that was like our first taste of
right.
Like
that
resale.
was the first taste of resale. So I wanted to, at first, UFG, I wanted to resell because I felt like I love sneakers and I can make money. Why not?
Right.
But, you know, it's just.
I think it got oversaturated over the pandemic and
everybody was trying to do it. And then everybody was cutting into me, man, are you making this much? And I'm, man, I don't want, you know, and it just got like annoying, bro. Yeah. And it just, I don't know, it just didn't rest well with my moral compass as a collector. Yeah. You know, like I had to charge, like to make a profit, I had to charge more. And I had like young people really wanting the shoe to buy. And I want to be able to give it to them for the price they wanted because I knew they were going to wear it. Yeah. But it was like, dog, I can't lose money, you know? Right. So I just kind of stepped away from that. And I just wanted to stay on the collector side and just really show that appreciation and homage from that standpoint.
And that's how we went from Instagram to YouTube.
That's when we went to YouTube.
With Instagram, it was more informational. This is what the shoe is. This is where it came from. This is who made it. Yada, yada, yada. And then so when we decided to go to YouTube, it was like, okay, now that you know the facts about the shoe, let me walk you through the shoe. Let me tell you about the, you know, where, the mechanics of it.
I try to. I'm not like wear testers. My man, Nightwing, man, he's so dope. He's probably my favorite YouTuber because he's so informational. He knows like the tech specs of the shoes. Like he knows it. And I've learned a lot from him too.
But you bring such a different perspective to it. So, I mean, you add value to that.
Yeah, I try
niche,
to. Thank
you. And so when you're doing YouTube, I think it gave us a little bit more creativity, more leeway for creativity. Yeah. So that's where I implicated a lot of my learning as far as cameras and lighting and microphones and editing software and all this kind of stuff. And it can be overwhelming, especially if you are teaching yourself, because you're getting so many different tips from so many different
But you gotta do what works for you.
Yeah, you gotta do with what works for you. And I think after being on YouTube,
and it's gonna take trial and error. Yeah.
How long have we been on YouTube now? 3 years?
Almost 4. No, we started in 2020.
Okay, so not too long after we started Instagram, but in 4 years, I have so much trial and error. Yes. I've learned so much.
And we still learn.
And we're still learning. And even now, going from Instagram to YouTube to now back to podcasting.
World.
This is yet another learning curve.
Yes.
That we are going through together. So we might not have the prettiest setup. We might not have the most.
It's the prettiest setup to me. I like it.
We might not have the most up to, however it goes. We got to start somewhere, because I feel like when we went to the event on Thursday, real quick, Thursday, February 22nd, the event that my bride is speaking about is the Future Forward Who's Next. Yeah. It was hosted by my brother James Whitner, and it was sponsored by the Whitaker Group and Pensole Lewis College. Shout out to Dwayne Edwards, Dr. Edwards, and everyone at Pensole Lewis College, downtown Detroit, who made that, it was a privilege to be there. Yeah. And I think just being in the room and being motivated and inspired by other
I'm still on that high right now.
Yeah, I'm still riding that high,
and that was just like 3-4 days
just
ago.
Being in that room with other creatives from different places. We had people, fashion designers. Music. We had a lobbyist there for politicians.
Right. My man
we
Eddie.
We had someone who's a manager for somebody on the Lions. Yep. I mean, we have a plethora of people ready to just network and just inspire one another. And being in that room solidified our decision to make a podcast, because we've been talking about a podcast for a long time.
Yeah, and this wasn't just a spur of the moment.
No,
it took some work. And it took some direction.
Yeah.
And we calculated this. This is not just a whim. We strategically plan for this. You got to think about equipment, microphones and headphones. And, we strategically planned for this. So it wasn't just a whim. When we went to that event, we let's do it.
Right. We all got our equipment on one day.
But it did give us fuel, though.
Yes, I think it gave us that final push to be okay, let's do it. I mean, whatever the setup is, whatever the equipment that we do have, you got
to start.
Right, we had to
start. That's half the battle. Just start.
We, I did end up buying the mic yesterday, 2 days ago, I bought the mic.
Friday.
And it just so happened to be that a good friend of ours had an extra one.
Exact same mic.
The exact same model and everything. He's like, here, you guys can have it. And we were like, oh, well, I mean, that's great. Now we've been planning to get two, but now, we got two for the price of one, basically. And so, I mean, it turned out great. It's great to have those who believe in you, those who are in your corner, and just surrounding yourself with a lot of people who inspire you, even if it's not in your specific field.
And that's my superpower. If I had, everybody has superpowers, right? And my superpower is nurturing and cultivating relationships with people.
Yeah.
And I use that to my advantage at work too, because I have to talk to contractors and vendors, and I have to get quotes, and I have to do all these things. But I build these relationships with these people, and I, like connecting with other creatives and things of that nature. So like for real, like sometimes that superpower, you got to be delusional.
Yeah. You have a little bit of delusion. I
preach that to everybody.
And we're going to promote that here. We're going to promote
I'm telling you,
some
bro,
delusion here.
If y'all are in a sphere or in that space of wanting to be a creator, and you're reaching out, you're looking like for a mentor, you looking like for connections and things like that.
Or reach out.
You gotta have a form of delusion. Like my mentor, right? I'm not gonna name drop. Y'all who know me know who he is, but my mentor, his mentor is MJ. The GOAT. That's his mentor. I'm having a conversation with him. He like, yeah, MJ be bothering me, man. I be,
let me have those kind of problems.
Dog, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it was dope. It wasn't like, that was dope to see that, because he viewed, the way I view MJ is different. If I met the guy, I'm 45 years old. If I met MJ today, I'll probably cry.
You
know what I'm saying?
Know
like
him through your mentor.
Right. So
you're halfway there.
Halfway there. And I'm delusional. That's the delusion that I have, that my mentor may introduce me to MJ. But I had, just back to it, I had told my mentor, I sent him, for us to start a relationship together, a professional relationship, I sent him a DM almost 3 years ago. It's about 3 years. It was 2021.
It's been a while, yeah.
And it's been 3 years. And I sent him just a DM because, some shoes and, blah, blah, blah. And he responded. Who would have known?
And look.
But see, if I would have been on, pins and needles, like, I ain't gonna send it, he ain't gonna respond anyway. It was like, and he responded. And ever since then, I just had the utmost respect, and I never asked for anything. I never, even when he told me, man, whatever you need, I got you. I never asked him for anything. Mm-hmm. Everything that was received from him or his group or his team, it was out of the kindness of his heart.
Yeah. Because
he seen the passion, and he seen who I am. You know what I'm saying? He seen me for me. So if y'all looking for that, and I told him this the other day after the event. I told him, I said, look, whether you like it or not, you're my mentor.
Whether you like it or not.
And then he was like, bet, just we in this together. Don't be afraid to take the shot. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, for sure. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So you have to have purpose, man. Because when you got these people on them levels, like I have his personal phone number in my phone. I can call him right now if I wanted to. But I'm not going to waste his time. I'm not going to call him and say, hey, dog, what you doing?
Right.
He going to be like, what? So it's not that kind of party. Like it's got to be intentional. So when you cultivate and nurture these relationships with people in places that can change your life,
be intentional.
You got to be intentional. You got to understand your why. You got to know, why am I going to call you? Because if my name pops up on his phone, he going to know it's a reason why I'm calling him. Just like with Ro Spit, Roland Coit. For y'all who don't know, Ro Spit, he has 218. It's a boutique downtown Detroit, Eastern Market area, and they did a collab with Jordan, the Jordan 2 218s. I sent Ro a DM. Thanking him for what he did, because that was a big deal for Detroit to have.
It was a really big. He was passing them out left and right.
It was dope.
Everybody.
It was dope,
it was
man.
A movement.
And I just sent him a DM. Never spoke to him. Wasn't even up on him like that. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. He was a rapper, DJ, all that, actor, all that. But I wasn't up on him like that. I'm not even gonna hold you. And I sent him a DM. And I'm just like, hey, thank you for the shoe. You showing the city love. I got this platform. I'm a YouTuber, up and coming. can we do something together? I'm not even thinking that he gonna respond. He responded immediately.
Right.
He was like, for sure, let's do it. What you want to do? And I'm like, I wasn't ready. And I even told him, I was like, look, bro, my bad. I didn't expect you to respond so quick. So I really don't know. So I had to sit back for a minute.
It was a learning
and I put it,
lesson
it was definitely a learn. And I put some thought to it, talked to my wife, and we came up with it. And he let me, if y'all look at my YouTube channel, we interviewed Ro at his store and got some good intel, some good background on Ro.
I think we asked some
and
really
right now,
great questions.
yeah, and right now, Ro's my guy. He was at the event Thursday, and we was kicking it. That's my guy.
It was really
that's
nice.
my superpower, man.
Yeah.
Just like Dr. Edwards.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna do a podcast at Pensacola Lewis College and get a walkthrough all
we
that.
Have some really good
Dr.
stuff
Edwards,
for you guys
I told him, I met him at the BFF event initially that was at Pensacola Lewis. That was in September 2023. And it was so many people. It was thousands of people there. So it was hard to kind of for him to remember. And I know, that was like a 3-day event. And I met him there, but he didn't remember. But now he remembers. He's not going to forget from Thursday. And I told him, I said, Dr. Edwards, I want to, what did he say? No, he said, Dr. Edwards said, what do you want from me?
Yeah, what do you want from me?
And he ain't say it like that, y'all. He ain't say like, what do you want? Like I'm bugging him. He's just asking like genuinely.
Sure, what do you need?
What you need, man? What you need from me? And I said, all I want from you, Dr. Edwards, I want to develop and nurture a relationship. That's all I want. I want to cultivate and nurture. He was like, what did he say? He was like,
done.
And he gave me his personal number and everything. So but I'm not going to call Dr. Edwards until
just to shoot the
I'm
breeze.
intentional. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I have to be intentional. So that's just going to show you guys, kind of give y'all the origin story, kind of give y'all the breakdown of who I am and how my mind thinks and how I move.
Right.
Because
we value authenticity here.
Authenticity, man. Organic. I'm not going to be...
Stop. Come on, now let's wrap it up.
That's not going to be me, man. So, and I'm just saying all that to say, you guys, this podcast is really going to highlight different facets of my life personally. I mean, we're going to start off because sneakers is my passion. Yeah. I love sneakers. I love the culture.
Yeah.
I love fashion. I love it. And probably not so much fashion because fashion gets kind of weird sometimes. But I love sneaker fashion, street fashion, I guess you can say, but we're going to talk, this podcast is going to introduce so many things. We're going to even talk about mental health. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? We're going to talk about entrepreneurship, what it takes to be an entrepreneur. Yeah. And we're going to interview some real entrepreneurs who's actually doing it, getting it out the mud. So it'll be informative. It's going to be fun. Yeah. You're going to see a different side. Yeah. Conversational, barbershop talk. Yeah. You're going to see a different side of me, not so structured, just, on the shoe. Because my wife when we talking about a shoe, like if I'm doing a shoe review, she be behind the camera like,
come on, wrap it up.
Come on, wrap it up. Wrap it up. You know what I'm saying? So this is going to be more, we're going to have some structure, but it'll be more leisure, more fun. Yeah. And we're going to really get into it. So, you guys can expect a good time. Yeah. And I'm so glad that we went ahead and did this. And we just took the step, man. We just stepping out and we're going to do it. So we'll learn along the way. Season 1, episode 0. This is the origin story. So this is technically our very first episode, the pilot. Yeah. The pilot, episode 0, the origin story.
Whatever you want to call it. So make sure you guys are following, subscribing, listening in, giving us feedback. DMs are open.
Not just because you give feedback, that don't mean I'm gonna listen all the time. I'm just letting y'all know.
But I mean, we're gonna try to be there for you guys the way that those have been there for us. So we're gonna be paying it forward in those areas. So just keep following along, you guys. And I can't wait for the next episode because the next episode is a good one.
I just want to leave y'all with this, man. If you are creative or creator in some shape or facet. In some sort of space, whether you're doing, podcasting, YouTube, music, just anything, whatever you're doing and it's your passion and you love it, bro, keep going. Keep going. Because every creative is going to hit a wall. You're going to hit a wall sometimes. Hey, climb over it, bro. Yeah. Run through it. Just keep going. Don't stop. Do not give up. and just keep looking at the bigger picture. You feel me?
Keep making noise.
Yeah, I was about to get into that, but she kind of stole my thunder a little bit. But yeah, just keep making noise until somebody hear you. And that means something, y'all. Just think about it from this perspective, man. You keep banging on the table somewhere in the school, anywhere. You keep banging on that table, somebody gonna hear that.
Yeah.
So when they hear it, you need to be ready. You stay ready so you don't have to get ready. You feel me?
Yeah.
So that's why I say those things, not just because it sounds cool. It really means something.
Yeah.
It really means something, and I live by that. So I'm gonna keep making this noise until somebody hear me. And they listening, bro. People starting to hear me. So y'all keep going, man. If I can motivate y'all in any shape or facet, I'm so happy that I can do that. And I'm just trying to, maximize this space that I have, this platform, and continue on growing. So thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for listening. I'd like to thank my beautiful bride as my guest.
Thank you, baby.
Appreciate you, darling. So episode 1, thank y'all for tuning in. So episode 1 will be me, and my co-host will be my boy Buck, my best friend, and we're going to talk about the origin of the sneaker culture, how it affected us through our lenses. As we're in our 40s, so we'll speak to it from that language, and we hope you guys would appreciate that. So thanks again for tuning in. It will be an episode every Monday morning, 9 a.m.
Get your week started straight.
You can get your week started off. You can listen to us via podcast on Spotify, or you can check out the YouTube video. You can actually see us. And but again, thank y'all for tuning in. I love you guys so much, man. Thanks for all the support and the love for everyone that supports UFG and that see our vision. And we're going to keep going up. So we'll see y'all up there, all right? Peace.